In 1966, a man kidnapped 3 teenagers on a quiet Texas night, executing 2 of them in a car trunk and torturing the 3rd before killing her. He was sentenced to death 3 times and came within days of execution, but a Supreme Court ruling wiped his sentence away, setting the stage for something far worse. Tonight, we begin the story of Kenneth McDuff. I'm Mike.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Dave. If you thought you'd already heard the most egregious of parole stories, stick around. We may have a new contender in the entry for worst parole board in history. This is Necronomipod.
It's been, 7 years? It was time to revamp the website.
It's been a long time.
It has been. There's like aspects of the show or whatever business that like just get forgotten about. And a website is for sure one of them, especially in the world of podcasting, I think.
And I think also just in the world of social media, where like everything's on that and not necessarily a website anymore. Yeah. Right? Like you can buy tickets to like concerts through links on social media. You don't have to go to, kissonline.com or acdc.au.
Right.
We got a updated, revamped website.
It's beautiful.
Thanks, man.
I like it. Nice work, pal.
Thanks, dude.
Necronomipod.com got a makeover. Ian spent a lot of time the last few weeks working on that. What are some of the stuff you dove into, Ian?
I think the biggest thing on it is we're going to have a blog. Like we're going to just kind of regularly post, little articles on various topics we've covered in the past and shit. And
so probably a summary of each current episode, but in addition to that, maybe past things, whatever's on someone's mind.
Yeah.
Anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just gradually build it over time, and hopefully people like to check it out.
I fully intend to utilize the blog. I will update it maybe occasionally with some of my fast food doings, comings and goings. There's been some sandwiches I've been eyeing down at the dollar store, frozen sandwiches that I thought maybe I can try and then just write out a quick little review.
There you go.
Mike's Cuisine Corner.
Yeah, there you go. Like and if there's a new item at fast food, like McDonald's had the big arch.
Yeah.
I could try that and let everyone know my thoughts on it.
Was that any good?
It was fine.
Doesn't look that good.
It was fine. It was a quarter pounder with cheese, just made differently.
Is it white cheese? It shows white cheese in the ad.
It is like a white cheddar or something, which it was fine. The bun was the best part. It had like crispy onions on the bottom that I forgot were even on it. Like you couldn't even taste them. I like the regular double quarter. It's a double, I believe. So it was I like the double quarter pounder with cheese better. It's not bad. It's worth a shot. They're using the quarter pounder patties just with different cheese, a different bun, and those crispy onions. And it's almost like a Big Mac sauce on it, which is fine. I'm not huge on it like everyone else is.
Yeah, it's like a Big Mac sauce with something else added to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but
I don't either.
Ronald McDonald jizz.
Yeah, maybe.
It might be. Or whoever's working third shift that night.
Billy Ray's jizz.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll start doing blogs about random stuff. Maybe I'll get my thoughts on like a NASCAR race every now and then if something big happens.
Yeah,
people can read my thoughts. But I'll do some shit food reviews and let people know they can read that. Just want to keep the blog up to date every now and then.
Yeah.
If there's something you want me to taste test that I can actually get in my area, I'm open to suggestions as well.
Oh, Mike, I've got an 80-year-old taco you might be interested in.
There would never be a blog because I would be murdered when I went to that appointment, and that would be the end of it. The next thing on the blog would be my obituary. Written by Declan in crayon.
Yeah. I want to do some more merch, too. I want to revamp the merch later this year. I think that's like kind of the next step. I haven't done any new merch designs in years and shit, so.
We talk about it all the time.
We just really do.
We never write anything down.
It's like half joke, half reality, right? When we say that, And we're like, oh, that's a good T-shirt idea. It is for real, but yeah, we won't do anything with it.
We're going to forget about it by the time the sentence is over. What else is going on with the website, Dave?
Well, there's a mailing list feature. You get on there, you enter your email address, then you're subscribed to our mailing list. Then you'll get notified of those new episodes, new blog entries, all that stuff. Anything going on in the Necro universe, you'll get an email letting you know what's happening. And as a special introductory thing, we're trying to get that list populated. If you sign up by the end date of 4/20. Because all you degenerates won't be able to operate a website after 4/20 with all your pothead use.
Drug users.
We're going to select one member of the mailing list, and we're going to do a personalized video for them that they will receive in their email address as subscribed on the mailing list.
How nice of us.
It is. It's a cool thing. Not going to be a regular thing. We're not going to be doing video content. We're not. You're not going to find us on Cameos selling videos or anything like that. But thought it'd be cool enticement. Maybe not for everyone, but for those of you who'd like something like that. Trying to entice you to join our mailing list. We'll send that special somebody a customized video shout out message.
Do they get to customize what they want?
Maybe they can send us a couple bullet points and we'll speak to those bullet points and we'll go off the rails from there.
Okay.
Somebody could be really funny and give it to someone that hasn't, like, there's no context at all.
Actually make it for someone else.
Yeah, somebody can make that really funny.
Then it's just us just telling someone to go fuck themselves.
Yeah. Hey, you're a fucking asshole. So,
well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, sign up. What do you got to lose? If it sucks, just add us to the spam folder, and
it's true.
You'll never hear from us again.
Yeah, you'll never hear from us again.
Because we won't take your unsubscribe. Like we don't acknowledge that. If you try to unsubscribe, we're like, no, no takesies backsies.
You just get an email back that says veto.
We're incorporated in the Cayman Islands. Those fucking laws don't apply to us.
Or we'll do a pocket veto and just respond. We'll take this into consideration. Thank you. And then just never consider it. All right. Necronomipod.com. New and improved. Go check it out. I'll do my first taste test or some kind of post maybe in April.
Looking forward to it, pal.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if my stomach is, but we'll see.
I'm gonna get back into barbecuing this summer, so maybe I'll post some
there you go.
Some barbecue blog content.
Like a recipe on how you make something special, and you can do it like all those bullshit books do where you put like a whole family backstory. And it's like, well, my great grandmother started making this Italian sausage back in the old country.
That's right. She smuggled it in a scroll in her vagina when she crossed the Atlantic for greener pastures.
Could actually be really funny if you do like an off the rail story like that.
Yeah, it could be really funny.
She was caught. She was whipped. They cut off her pinky fingers.
She had to blow 74 Nazis in order to retain the scroll.
The last of which ended up becoming my papaw. She blew him so well they fell in love.
It's like Christopher Walken's story to Bruce Willis as a kid in Pulp Fiction, how he had to keep the watch in his asshole in Vietnam.
Or you can tie it all back to Ulysses Grant. That could be fun too.
There you go.
Your grandma was the secretary that blew him under the desk. Back when blowing under the desk, you didn't get snitched on like pussies these days. Can't have a simple blow job underneath the desk in the Oval Office. All right. Well, that took a turn. Necronomipod.com. What else? Anything else going on before we dive into this real feel-good story?
No, I just had one thing to report. Ian, I drove home from Georgia over the weekend, and I did not hit one animal. So my kill count remains at 0 for my trip home.
Nice. Good job.
You're welcome.
For your life, 0?
Oh, no. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I smacked a raccoon and a bunny. Not a bunny, squirrel. Sorry.
Squirrel.
That's right.
Or my wife hit the raccoon and I hit the squirrel back-to-back days.
Yeah, that's a rough couple of days.
For her, not me. I didn't feel bad at all.
Bad day for nature. All right. Well, good job not doing a murder, Dave.
Appreciate your support.
Kenneth McDuff was born on March 21st, 1946 in Rosebud, Texas, a small town in the central part of the state south of Waco. He was the fifth of 6 children. His father, John Allen McDuff, who everybody called J.A., ran a concrete business that did well during the Texas construction boom of the 60s. The family had money. They weren't rich, but they were comfortable. They didn't have to, worry about anything. J.A. was a quiet man who went to work and left all the family stuff to his wife.
Woman's work.
Kind of. Well, but this is like the flip of this, because I don't know that he would have had a choice because his wife is extremely aggressive.
No, there's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Rosebud, Texas. Mikey, familiar with Citizen Kane at all? Rosebud?
I have not seen Citizen Kane.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Was that before the Undertaker burned down his house and killed his family? Or
Yeah, it was way before.
oh,
Way before.
so a young Kane before he had to wear a mask because his face was horribly disfigured by his older brother.
Way before Triple H banged his dead girlfriend in the casket.
Whoa,
Yes.
that's not. You can't make light of that. That's not funny, pal.
Anyway, in Citizen Kane, Rosebud is the last thing the guy says when he dies, and it goes back to the name of his sled when he was a boy. But what people actually said, that movie was based on William Randolph Hearst, and they said that was the nickname that he gave his mistress's clitoris, Rosebud. They were kind of trolling him when they used that in the movie. So, thought you might have been familiar.
Okay.
So,
Do we give nicknames to just every fictional mythical thing out there? Is that a thing people do?
sometimes they were just trolling him. But
Okay. You know what I call the clit? A joke.
a non-existent entity, if you will.
Yeah. There's a blog post, my thoughts on the mythical clit.
You write all about it. You do a whole series about it.
One word bullshit post.
Part 2 next week.
Kenneth's mother was Addie McDuff, and people around Rosebud called her Pistol Packin' Mama because she carried a gun in her purse and she would pull it on people. Teachers at school were the ones that called her that. A special education teacher named Ellen Roberts said that every teacher in the school was afraid of her. Anytime one of her kids got in trouble, Addie would come storming in, and it was never her kid's fault.
I bet those parents are fun to deal with.
Yeah,
As a teacher, right?
And then you just bump it up a notch because she's always armed.
Right. Also that.
Everybody's well aware of it.
When was this? So we're talking in the 50s, 60s? Yeah.
Small town Texas.
Yeah. 2026, small town Texas. Still.
There's probably an aggressive person like this somewhere out there. Yeah. A note from Kenneth's prison file from years later brings this up, that he was never required to follow rules or take responsibility for anything. If a problem came up at school, the school was to blame. Kenneth was always innocent. Kenneth's older brother, Lonnie, was the real troublemaker of the family, as far as being a kid, or when they were kids. Kenneth was pretty much coddled, right? Lonnie is a real fucking troublemaker. He had a speech impediment, and he liked to call himself Rough Tough Lonnie McDuff, but it came out Wuff Tough,
Waff Tough Wani McDuff.
Yeah.
Classic.
That's who's our Elmer Fudd guy? The white supremacist?
Yeah. In Elohim, right? Elohim, Oklahoma?
Elohim City or something.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that guy's name?
Hello.
Yeah.
Oasis Hot Wine. Can I help you?
Yeah.
Are you saying black people moved in next to you? You're so scared.
I think that's the most outrageous part of the whole Oklahoma City saga. That I learned that there was a racist hotline where you could call and complain about other races if you were a white person.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Oasis Hot Wine. That's one of the funniest memories of this show I have. That was so funny.
Could you imagine calling someone and be like, hey, these black people really made me mad?
It's like a support group. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. A black person walked past you in the grocery store. That must have been horrible.
Whoa, I heard WAP music blaring from a car that drove by. Can you WAF them? All right, back to Wuff Tough Wani McDuff.
Yeah, we're not letting him off the hook either. This guy.
But nobody would make fun of him for it in school because they were all very afraid of him. Lonnie had once pulled a knife on the school principal. This guy's name was D.L. Mayo. And like, it turned into this whole thing where like the principal had to throw him down the stairs. And
Jesus.
Like, this kid is fucking terrible, right? And then just could wrap a bow on Lonnie while Kenneth is in prison years and years later for shit we'll get into in part 2. Lonnie was shot and killed by the ex-husband of a woman that he was seeing. So
not so woof tough. Sorry, go ahead. Not so woof tough, Lonnie McDuff.
Yeah. What's in your hand?
More like pow bang, now you're dead.
Woof tough probably got him to that point, right? He fucked with the wrong person finally.
Yeah, right.
Don't aim that revolver at me.
I like that we're just establishing he never grew out of this speech impediment. That's with you forever, bud.
I'm really scared.
I had to go to a speech class when I was little.
Did you?
I had trouble with my R's. I don't like I wasn't quite like wabbit or things like that, but I just the way I said them, people couldn't necessarily make out that it was an R. I don't even remember what I sounded like. It was like 3 weeks. I had to go to one of those like little fucking trailers they have in the back of a school.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Does your mom have any audio recordings? She might want to donate to the soundboard.
Maybe
we could explore this
more
in depth on a different day.
Go figure that out. So that's what I got going on. Therapy helped me.
That's good.
No, it did not. Just grew out of it naturally.
One of the most told stories about Addie is that she went to the school bus stop with a gun after a driver kicked Lonnie off the bus for fighting. So, like, that's the family that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Nowadays, I feel as if the bus driver would probably get fired immediately for kicking a kid off the bus.
Yeah.
I commend him for stopping a fight, but you can't throw a kid off a bus. Back then, there's no holds barred, right? There's barely any laws back then.
You stop on a country road 5 miles from your house, your ass is flying off the bus.
Yep.
Yeah. They probably have real strict rules on buses now, right? Like, you can't fuck around or you're probably kicked off.
Yeah.
Not like kicked off on the road, but like the next day told you're probably not back. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I guess if you're causing problems, sure.
Yeah, I don't know that he kicked him off on the side of the road necessarily.
Or maybe just told him you're not welcome back on the bus.
Right, and then Addie went in with a gun. And
the fuck he isn't.
Dude, my bus when I was in school in like 8th grade, 7th grade was so fucking out of control. Just out of hand, the behavior on that bus. People throwing shit out windows.
Yeah.
I lit a smoke bomb on a bus one time.
Of course
I think I told you guys that.
Of course you did. You didn't even have to say it. We just would have assumed.
Had to empty the bus, let it clear out.
You probably had your friend pull his pants down and fucking helicopter passerbys on the highway. Just fucking showing his little dick to everybody.
Helicopter.
The bus was super fun back in the day.
I loved it.
Sure.
Yeah. Start acting real crazy.
It was the best part of going to school was the bus.
So Addie, the mom, and Kenneth's 3 older sisters treated him like he was a god. They always gave him money. He always had new clothes. When he was older, Addie bought him a motorcycle that was said to be like the loudest thing in Rosebud. Addie also ran a laundromat across the street from the family home on Linden Street, and she controlled all of the money in the house. So that's what I mean when, like I said, the dad that owned the concrete thing. Like, I don't think he had a choice really. Like, Addie is like, I run this shit, you know.
You control the purse strings. You control everything.
She probably walks around the house armed too, right?
Right.
Or at least that's what I imagine. She has a gun on her at all times.
She draws down on him if he spends $2 extra or something.
She keeps that under her pillow at night. Yeah.
I said no anal.
Click.
Anal's illegal in Texas anyway, I'm sure. So, at least in the 50s.
Yeah. Probably, right?
Probably today.
Yeah, there's probably some stupid laws. Still, right?
Yeah, Cucks Across America has to review all that before we go into different states, just figuring out what you can do, what you can't do. Fucking Utah, man, it's the worst. You can barely look at someone without being charged with the crime.
You probably have to put like a butt plug in her butthole in Utah as a placeholder so you don't accidentally slip in there and break the law and commit a felony, right?
I wouldn't chance it. You can't put anything up in there.
Right.
They're going to get you on something. I just, just got to stay sober and get the right hole. It's my motto.
That's a good shirt. Stay sober and get the right hole. Make a note of that.
Yeah, okay. Writing it down.
That's for the revamp merch later this year. Stay sober and get the right hole.
Kenneth was a bully at Rosebud High School, and he took a lot of pleasure in it. And he kind of had like sociopath vibes, it seemed like. Maybe Ellen Roberts, who we talked about earlier, the special education teacher, said that Kenneth was sent to her office for a consultation. He sat there and didn't say a single word, no response at all, just, completely stone cold. He was also known for his laugh. People described it as maniacal, laughing at stuff that no one else thought was funny. And then in an instant, he would just stop and his face would go cold, like turning a light on and off. So super weird behavior.
Punishment has to be backed up by the threat of getting in trouble at home, right? Like if they're going to punish you at school, you have to believe something worse is going to happen to you at home. And that's what kind of keeps kids in check. If they treat him like a god at home and he's never in the wrong and nothing ever happens to him,
right?
Like that discipline at school's not really going to mean anything, right? It's not backed up by anything.
I went to a college that was a dry campus, which is
what?
ridiculous and not followed at all, and got in trouble. It was like class when you run for office, like class politics, like president, vice president, all that bullshit for the classes. I had fraternity brothers that were involved in all of that. And due to drama, a political rival turned into school management photos of my fraternity brothers drinking off campus. And I happened to be in one of the photos, and we were all under 21 at the time. And we all had to come to this little hearing in front of like the dean and all this. And we made up all these lies, and it didn't work. They were like, no, we know exactly where you are. And that's, we said we were in Canada. And they were like, no, assholes, we know the fuck where you are. But we were put on not academic.
Double secret probation?
Yeah, double secret probation and had to pay a fine. And like I called my parents like, all right, I don't give you're fine. Just, stay out of trouble, but do whatever. Like you're 20 years old. And so like to your point, Dave, I just kept on drinking.
Yeah, of course.
I was smarter when cameras were around just to kind of do the old, put that behind the back or put it in a fucking Coke can or Solo cup. I think in the actual photo, I was holding a 40 of King Cobra.
That's even fucking better. That's fantastic.
I had on a big Jeff Gordon t-shirt, King Cobra. I was like, oh, well, that's me. Nobody else is wearing a Jeff Gordon t-shirt on campus.
You did not lead a march out of the proceedings like Tim Matheson in Animal House, like with a speech. No. I will not sit around while you badmouth the United States of America. Gentlemen. And you guys all march out.
Look, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't even going to go to the hearing because it said if you didn't show up, you're just guilty. And I was like, all right.
Okay, right.
But the people that I was going to trial with did not want this to go through. And so they were like, well, just come on. You got. And I was like, all right. Go through the charade. But yeah, I was just like, all right, well, here's my fine, whatever. I'm going to go back to drinking my King Cobra, please. The end.
Look at what a fine, upstanding man you turned out to be.
Who's laughing now? Getting paid to drink.
You probably fucked the dean's wife.
The dean was not a he.
You probably fucked the dean. Or the dean's husband. Or whatever.
The double Uno reverse card cuck.
There you go.
Kenneth was like a typical bully, right? Like he was careful about who he picked on. He was a big kid, and he gets big as an adult, right? He's like past 6'3" and over 200 pounds.
Whew.
He only went after kids that were smaller and weaker. And that worked until 8th grade when he picked a fight with a kid named Tommy Sammons. Tommy was popular, athletic, and importantly, a lot smaller than Kenneth. And Tommy beat his ass. And it kind of went down as the day that this Tommy kid freed the school from the small town, from the school bully. Kenneth never fucked with anybody in his class again. And then a few months later, he dropped out and went to work pouring concrete for his father.
Probably still talk about that day at that school. Right. Fucking awesome.
Took such a bad L. It was like a loser leaves town match. He just had to go.
Loser fucking dropped out of high school. That's a tough loss.
I bet Tommy fucked a teacher that day. Like he was made.
Exactly. What's that movie? 3 O'clock High? Isn't that the plot of 3 O'clock High where
I don't know,
the bully and the guy gets a lucky shot in and knocks the bully out in the parking lot? That's a good movie. Going way back.
3 O'clock High? I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Bret Hart tells a story in his autobiography about this happening to him. He was like a smaller kid and some bigger bully was picking on him and challenged him to a fight, to the point where in Bret's book, he said, as he was leaving the school, even a teacher was like, "Good luck, man." And then Bret ended up beating the shit out of this guy and, was like the hero after that. Probably put him in a sharpshooter.
Probably.
How do you not tap out at that point?
From there, Kenneth's criminal record starts in 1964 when he was 18. He and some other guys went on a string of burglaries across 3 Texas counties. They stole cash, checks, bullets, pretty much whatever they could grab. When police picked him up, he said that it was just like stupid shit, right? We're just fucking around. He was charged with 13 counts and sentenced to a total of 52 years, 4 years per count. But because of his age, the sentences ran at the same time. He ended up serving 9 months and 2 weeks. So Kenneth was out on parole by December 29th, 1965.
Can you imagine just some thieving like that and you get 52 years in prison? I'll teach people, right? That's a big deterrent. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a lot of thieving, right? If you're getting 52 years.
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Could have deterred a lot of this story if he was a little bit older at the time.
We haven't had a good one of those in a while. Where should have stopped right here, and we never would have been talking about this. Yeah, several points in this story that you could say that, right?
Here's number 1. Ding.
Throw in a quick detail. We'll talk a lot more about next week in part 2, but just to say chronological, in the fall of 1964, so like right before the burglary charges, Kenneth told his brother Lonnie that he had raped a woman, cut her throat, and left her dead in a ditch. That is true. That woman survived. She didn't report the crime at the time, but she also got pregnant. Kenneth had a daughter from that rape, and that daughter will meet him years and years later. That's part 2 stuff.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That's a fun origin story to tell your friends, right? Where you came from.
Yeah, that's wild, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. Why was he raping people, Wani? Oh no, I'm Wani. I'm Wani. Why was he raping people, Kenneth?
So by the summer of 1966, Kenneth was 20 years old, out on parole for burglary, and back in Rosebud driving around a new Dodge Charger that his mom had bought him.
Whatever, Addie. Is that her name, Addie?
Yeah.
Pistol packing mama.
Yeah.
I want a new Charger, mommy. Where's mine?
Presumably, Lonnie was just like told to fuck off.
Rude.
Well, I mean, he was pulling knives on the principal and stuff.
Well, yeah. It was a small blade.
Getting to the first person outside the family, I guess, to introduce into this story. It's a kid named Roy Dale Green. He's 18 years old and lived with his mother in Marlin and worked for Kenneth's father at the concrete pouring company. He known Kenneth for about a month when all of this happened that we're going to be talking about here. According to Roy's later testimony, Kenneth talked constantly about violent sex, bragged about raping and killing women. he told Roy that killing a woman was like killing a chicken. And Roy said that he wasn't sure whether or not to ever believe him. If a dude's bragging like that, it's probably solid advice to believe that he probably did that stuff, right?
Possibly, yeah.
It's not a normal thing to talk about.
Most men of character don't make statements like that. Well, I've never made a statement like that in my life. No.
Yeah.
You just plucked that foot. I wish this guy had the speech impediment so we can keep this going, but we all know Ronnie's dead, and
you can just put it on him if you want.
Yeah. Didn't he also have the same speech impediment as his brother? I think he might have.
And they were up to, or at least Kenneth was up to, raping women in front of Roy or with Roy present, because Roy does talk about that stuff later on, and it gets into talking about like torture stuff where Kenneth had pinned a girl to the floor and squirted like the icy hot stuff in her private area and stuff while Roy was there. Not great, guys.
That's enough for me to just kill you. Like, we should be done with you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
On Saturday, August 6th, Kenneth and Roy spent the day pouring concrete at a construction site in Temple for Kenneth's father. After work, they cleaned up and headed for Fort Worth in Kenneth's Charger. Roy had never been to Fort Worth before, and Kenneth said that he knew some girls there. Like, hey, dude, let's go hang out.
Go see some chicks in Fort Worth.
It probably wasn't a, hey, dude, let's go hang out. It's probably something fucking crazy.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, probably something real out of hand.
Did they wear cowboy hats? Come on. They wear cowboy hats, right?
It's a fair question.
How does that work in Texas? Is that, I wonder, is that a common thing? I've never been there.
There are a lot of cowboy hats. Yeah. At least in my experience.
What's the criteria to be able to wear one? Like, I'm sure everybody in Texas can't get away with wearing a cowboy hat. Or can they?
I haven't been there in a long time, but my recollection when I was in Texas, I saw a lot of cowboy hats.
I've been through Texas. I don't recall seeing a ton, but I was mostly at colleges, so little different atmosphere.
Fair enough.
You could probably tell if you're in, like if I walked into Texas with a cowboy hat on, I'd be like, nah, that dude's not from here.
Look, you just got to act like you belong, just like anywhere else. Yeah.
If you walked in with your Carhartt and your cowboy hat, just went up to the bar and just ordered a whiskey, you're fine. No problem.
Y'all seen any cattle? I lost my cattle.
I'm just fucking staring at me.
They're like, sir, you're in Austin.
Y'all, I'm just trying to keep Austin weird. You seen any steer and rustling cattle? That's their thing down there. Keep Austin weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like a big, hipster food college
like
place.
The film festival and shit.
Yeah.
One of my life goals now is to take Ian to Texas and put a cowboy hat on him. Like,
all right.
that'd be all fucking awesome. All right. Like,
road trip.
Like a waxed mustache.
He could pull that off.
Like a hipster cowboy hat, waxed mustache. Maybe some suspenders. Some tight jeans.
We better go to Austin then, or he's in big trouble.
So they drove around the small town of Everman, just south of Fort Worth, drank some beer, visited with some friends, including a girl that Kenneth knew from a church that he attended, which they dropped her off. Then Kenneth said he was looking for a girl. He wanted to go on what he called a, quote, sex spree.
You ever been on a sex spree, Mike?
I think you could probably define some of those as that, yes.
Okay. Not so pervert.
Mm-hmm.
At about 10 o'clock that night, they were cruising through Everman when Kenneth spotted a girl in a red and white striped blouse and cutoff jeans standing near a baseball field next to a parked 1955 Ford talking with two boys. Kenneth had never seen any of them before. The three people standing by the car were 16-year-old Edna Sullivan, her boyfriend, 17-year-old Robert Brand, and Robert's 15-year-old cousin, Mark Dunham, who was visiting from California. They had just come from the drive-in. So just typical kids, right? Hanging out in the summer. Which drive-ins are sweet. I wish those would make a comeback.
I know.
There was one down in Wintersville. So much fun. just fucking load up some, like, we have to have a DD, right? But like get a bunch of beer and shit and go watch movies. Super fun.
Sneak in the trunk so you can save on getting in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
There was, growing up in Cleveland, there was one about a mile from my house. At, I don't know if you're from Cleveland, the Memphis Drive-In, but like Hallmark, whoever bought it and turned it into a park and tore it down, then left town anyway, fuckers. It was one of the coolest places in the city, and yeah, really cool.
I've never been to a drive-in.
Damn.
Really?
Never. Yeah.
There's 2 in Ohio, I think, left.
There's one in Barberton still, I think. We went there years ago. It's been a while, but there's one out in North Ridgeville. There's a couple up here.
Yeah.
At the risk of repeating myself, I'm sure I told it before, but I saw my first softcore porn at a drive-in. My brother and I, with my parents, we were in the back seat and at Raiders of the Lost Ark in 1981, and they were showing a Marilyn Chambers porn like on the screen behind us, like a Cinemax style, where you cut out the penetration and all that.
Right. That's incredible.
I'm like, this is awesome. My parents took me to a porno. They didn't know. No one's paying attention. It's up on, huge screen showing, softcore porn, people driving by, like just
people on the highway like, what the fuck's going on over there?
It's just a different time, man.
That's pretty wild that they were playing that.
I know.
That is the thing about drive-ins too, right? Like that was kind of how it was at the Wintersville one. Was like they'd have rated R movies on one screen and then the kids one on the other. So like you could look over and see shit going down.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's a lost thing. Those are really fun.
Very cool. Very cool stuff. I think the one out here in Barberton's still open.
We should go sometime.
We should go this summer.
Are they showing a porno?
Okay. Sure we can arrange something. I'm sure we can buy the whole thing out for $100.
I mean, can we just buy the whole business out? Let's just own that,
dude. That would be fucking cool.
That would be really.
And then, but we don't actually sell like show movies. We just use it for our own personal use.
Watch Netflix.
Yeah, we just go over there and like watch Netflix and drink beers and hang out. And they're like, all right, let's go home.
Old jackass videos up there all the time.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
That would be really fun.
Dude, one of my dreams is to own a fucking old movie theater. I've always wanted to put on my own horror film festivals and stuff. My God, I would love to do that.
Isn't now the time when all these theaters going out of business?
I would fucking love it. I don't even need to make a profit. I don't even care about that. I just want to own it and host my own film festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of options out there for closed
movie
theaters.
Cool. Yeah. But a drive-in would be fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's make that happen tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Go to the drive-in?
Yeah, no, buy one. Note to self, buy a drive-in tomorrow.
Wednesday's task, buy a drive-in.
Kenneth parked about 150 yards away, reached under his seat, and pulled out a .38 Colt revolver and walked over to them. He pointed the gun and ordered all 3 of them into the trunk of their car, the 55 Ford, then got behind the wheel and drove, with Roy following behind in Kenneth's Dodge. So this was not a time to go hang out with girls. This turned into something completely fucking different.
Yeah. Is this a crime of opportunity, or is this...
I think Kenneth is just like truly a psychopath, like just a really bad person, and probably a crime of opportunity, and was just
going with it. No forethought, just
right.
Let's see where this goes.
Like he is what seems to be like that person that is just missing whatever that is in the front part of your brain that controls the aggressiveness and all that shit. Like you said, he probably should have just been put down pretty early in this.
Oh yeah,
story.
People like this should be put down. Absolutely,
put down's just a
look, man.
Crazy word.
You want a civilized society? Some people need to be put down.
Kenneth drove the Ford along the highway and then turned into a field. He stopped, opened the trunk, and told Roy to move Edna into the trunk of the Dodge. Roy did. Then Kenneth said that he was going to have to, quote, knock them off, meaning that the boys could identify them. Robert and Mark were on their knees in the trunk of the Ford begging Kenneth not to do it. Kenneth brought the gun up and shot both of them in the face. He shot Robert twice. He shot Mark 3 times, then grabbed Mark by the hair, lifted his head, and shot him again. Roy saw a flash from the gun, covered his ears, and looked away, but not before he saw Kenneth's face, which he later described as a look of total peace.
Yeah, that's someone enjoying himself.
Like I said, lacking that impulse control. Like that's such a brutal crime out of nowhere.
For no reason.
Yeah, absolutely no reason. Kenneth told Roy to wipe down the fingerprints on the car after that and flatten the tire tracks in the dirt. Then he backed up the Ford against a fence to keep the trunk shut, and they drove away in the Dodge. And remember, with this girl, Edna, still in the trunk this whole time, right? These two kids executed on top of her.
She was watching.
Right. They drove about 11 miles south, crossed the Johnson County line, and then stopped on an isolated dirt road. Kenneth pulled Edna out of the trunk, made her take off her clothes, raped her, and then made Roy rape her. Then he raped her again. After that, he told her to get dressed. He drove her to a third location down a gravel road, pulled her out of the car, and told her to sit on the ground. Then he sat on her chest and pushed her head down and asked Roy for something to strangle her with. Roy handed him his belt. Kenneth didn't use it. He went back to the car and got a 3-foot piece of broken broomstick. He put it across her throat and pressed down. He pressed down hard enough to break her neck. As she was flailing and trying to fight back as this was going on, Kenneth told Roy to hold her legs down, which Roy did.
Come on, Roy.
Could have been a hero of the day. Could have picked up that gun and put one in the side of Kenneth's head.
Yeah, these get called there's like, I don't want to call it folklore, but these got nicknamed the broomstick murders. These became a thing because of the broomstick.
Media loves putting those fancy nicknames on things.
They really do. It's also, as you get older, I'm sure being a kid in this area too, having something called the broomstick murders to talk about.
Sure. Yeah. I remember in college, the college paper tried labeling me the pencil-dicked geek. I put a squash on that real quick.
Did you?
Yeah. When I went in their office and just started flipping the tables, grabbed the editor, threw him up against the wall, and took a pencil and put it in his mouth and said, "Suck on that pencil, you geek." And I walked away.
You didn't flap your cock out and give him a show?
I did not have to pollywop him.
All right.
That would have been next.
All right. Fair enough. Like I probably still tells the story to this day.
No. I chose not to sexually assault him that day. That was the right move.
Well, was it though?
They never ran that pencil-dicked geek article again.
They dumped her body over a fence and into some bushes. Then they got rid of their bloody clothes, buried the boys' wallets, and stopped at a gas station in Hillsboro for some Cokes. Then they drove to Roy's house and went to sleep.
I'd probably have to do coke after witnessing all that too.
Jesus.
Oh, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Oh.
The beverage.
I believe that people that would do something like that are Pepsi drinkers, not Coca-Cola drinkers.
Well, they weren't, Dave. They were Coca-Cola drinkers.
I think it's a misprint in the story. It was misreported. I'm sure they got Pepsi Colas.
The next morning, Kenneth buried the gun beside Roy's garage. Then he went to the house of a friend of theirs named Richard Boyd and washed the car.
Ian, I have a question for you real quick. In all your history and knowledge of doing outlines for true crime shows and your background, is burying your gun next to the garage of your accomplice a good idea?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Didn't sound like a really good idea to me. I thought I would ask.
I also wonder how far down he buried this gun too. You know
4 inches.
Right.
like didn't even use a shovel. Literally just dug with his hands.
Some leaves on top.
Yeah. Barely pulled up the grass.
Yeah, like can't be bothered to even go down the street a little bit.
Right.
When the cops get there, he'll be like, talk to my mom. I'm a good boy. I didn't do it.
Yeah, is that some of this too? Just he doesn't seem to be a very good criminal necessarily. Is that because he is not used to getting in trouble?
Yeah, that's a lot to be said. When you don't have to put any work in evade your criminality.
I mean, sociopaths still they have to have some type of, I don't know what I'm trying to say, some type of something in their fucking brains, right? Like
Like that self-preservation.
But like learned behavior, right? Like if like getting away with everything like that could lead you to be a stupid criminal, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're a sociopath.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The bodies of Robert and Mark were found the next day on August 7th, and the news hit the radio. Roy heard it while he was riding around with friends. And he like had a panic attack, freaked out, and told Richard Boyd's parents what happened. They told Roy's mother, and Roy's mother told him to turn himself in.
Good Lord. Did they just leave those boys laying there where they shot them?
Seemed like it, yeah. They didn't like really conceal.
Smart criminal thing to do, number 2.
Yeah.
Just crazy impulse.
Yeah.
Like no impulse control at all.
Yeah.
And honestly, when your accomplice is just this 18-year-old kid who obviously I'm sure was very nervous the whole time and displayed, I don't know, not like hardened criminal characteristics. Wouldn't you be nervous about him? Wouldn't you have killed him too, just to make sure he didn't tell the police about you? Like you just leave that loose end there, and who a good chance is going to crack when push comes to shove, right?
Yeah, because he went so far to like just brutally kill those 2 boys because they would see him. And he only knew Roy for about a month up to this point. Like,
yeah, that's a total loose end, right?
Yeah. He just put some crazy trust into Roy.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Roy's like, how the fuck did I get into this? Why couldn't I have just been drafted to Vietnam? Things would have been so much easier for me.
Would have been a lot safer, right?
Yeah, right. He'd have seen less hell.
So Roy led police to Edna's body. And at that point, Falls County Sheriff Brady Pamplin, a former Texas Ranger who had served in World War II, went to arrest Kenneth. Kenneth saw the police waiting outside his place as he came back from being out on a date, and he ran. Brady chased him for several miles and started shooting at the car. A whole crazy, wild police chase. And how it's told, like locally, is that people around town are like, man, you should have just killed him when you had the chance.
Yeah, I bet.
Like after the fact of things, people are like, should have fucking killed this dude.
Well, and kudos to Brady, though, for doing correct police work. You don't just walk up and shoot a potential suspect, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's hindsight.
Yeah, it's hindsight.
But I don't want to put it out there that we should just be shooting every potential murder suspect.
We get a little worked up in the studio here, Mike, but you're right. That's not the job of the police.
Right.
I'm still thinking about Roy, man. He could have just been, living in the jungle, avoiding all this.
Smoking some weed over in Nam.
Yeah. Probably would have been in the same platoon as Forrest Gump, and they would have been heroes together.
Probably.
I was also thinking, like, they're telling him he should have shot Kenneth. He chased him for several miles.
Yeah.
Was that on foot?
No, like a car chase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Because I was trying to think, like, is there anything in this world I would chase for several miles? I'm not sure.
No, it was like a high-speed chase kind of thing.
Phew. Because I was also impressed by both of their conditioning, if that was the case.
Yeah. Texas Ranger, there you go.
Yeah.
You know who else was a Texas Ranger? Chuck Norris. He was Walker Texas Ranger.
Too soon, pal.
Dead at 86 this week.
I'm not ready to discuss that. Is this our moment of silence?
Yeah. I just know, like, from wrestling, right?
Oh, yeah. And
like the
Survivor Series 1994 is what I know him for, when he was the special guest enforcer for the casket match between Yokozuna and Undertaker.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
And he fucking super kicks outside the ring Jeff Jarrett, who's trying to get involved. And Jarrett, like, does a back handstand, like, selling it, and then, like, falls over.
I didn't know about this at all.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, you got to watch that one.
All right.
I'd like to apologize for the audience for opening that window. I do it all the time. I didn't know there was a Chuck Norris wrestling angle.
Oh,
deeply
yeah.
sorry.
Well, it was always like Raw would come on after, Raw would come on after Chuck Norris.
So we would say the last few minutes of Walker, Texas Ranger, and it'd be like leading up to like, coming up next on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, like the fucking thing would zoom away.
Yeah.
You know?
You had like the side-by-side kind of thing, yeah.
And I'm like, get this fucking
it would
Walker
speed
Texas
up,
shit out of here.
Speed up the credits. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Right in the Monday Night Raw. Survivor Series 94. Watch it. But you know what else I think of is fucking Dodgeball. Fucking Chuck Norris. When he's the judge.
Oh, yeah. I forgot he was in there.
I think about that all the time. Thanks, Dave. That one's on you.
Yeah.
Send your hate mail to Dave at podcast.com. All right. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. This month, we celebrate women. Not just the women in our lives, but all women. The month of March includes Women's History Day. It's a time to celebrate women's strength and progress. Be it in the workplace, at home with their families, or even getting through the unseen day-to-day responsibilities they hold, a woman's job never stops. And with that, their emotional well-being can be easily overlooked. So, we want to remind women how much they matter, and that therapy can offer a space for them to take care of themselves in the way they deserve. Each month, we at Necronomipod celebrate a powerful, groundbreaking, inimitable woman in our history shows, and this month will be no different. So think of the important women in your life. Your mom, your sister, your partner, your coworker. Think of how hard they work, how successful they are. Think of the impact they've specifically had on you. Now, think about the pressure placed on these women, the expectations set on them. Therapy can help create balance, set boundaries, and support overall well-being for everyone. BetterHelp has been helping people find their match for over 12 years, having served over 6 million people globally, and has a 4.9 out of 5 rating with 1.7 million client session reviews. If you're looking for quality, BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. After filling out a brief questionnaire, you'll be matched with a therapist that is tailored to fulfill your needs. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from one of their recommendations. Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/necro. That's betterhelp.com/necro. Well, there was a story we were telling at some point in here.
So Kenneth was arrested. He denied knowing anything about the murders and said that he was innocent. His mother made up an alibi for him. It didn't hold. So she hired a lawyer from Waco and sat in the courtroom with her daughters throughout the trial, which began in November 1966. Still very, very supportive of him. Roy took the stand as the prosecution's star witness. He cried through his testimony and would not look at Kenneth. And people in the courtroom said that Kenneth never took his eyes off Roy the entire time, like just stared at him. Roy partook in a lot of stuff in this, but that's, for a young guy like that, like 18, that's pretty tough to talk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't imagine. I'd be so fucking nervous with that dude staring at me the whole time.
Yeah.
Terrified, right? Because if this guy gets off,
you're done for.
He's going to cut your throat
the
next day.
Kenneth's defense was that Roy was the one responsible. So, like that was it.
Well,
it was just,
what else are you going to believe, right?
No, he did it.
And he also like had the thing where the town had it out for him for years, kind of thing, because of the family name or whatever, like his brother being an asshole.
Whoa, don't bring me into this trial. I've been dead for a long, long time. Maybe. I don't know what the year died. Sounds good, though. I was putting my pee-pee in the wrong woman.
On November 15th, the jury found Kenneth guilty. He was sentenced to death by electric chair. 3 separate death sentences, one for each victim. Roy, who testified against him, received a 25-year sentence and was released after serving about 13 of those years. So Roy's out there somewhere, presumably still out there wandering around. Kenneth went to death row twice in 1969 and once in April of 1970. He came within a few days of his execution date. Each time he was granted a stay. Then in 1972, the United States Supreme Court decided Furman versus Georgia. The short version of this is that the court ruled that the way the death penalty was being applied across the country was arbitrary and inconsistent enough to qualify as cruel and unusual punishment under the Eighth Amendment. It wasn't a ruling that said the death penalty was unconstitutional forever. It was a ruling that said the current system was broken. The United States could rewrite their laws and try again, which Texas did in 1974. But in the meantime, every death sentence in the country was thrown out.
Which, they're right. It was very arbitrary and not applied properly and equally across the country.
Yeah, they're not
100%.
wrong in that.
That's an absolutely correct ruling.
It's just like, I don't know, it's everything in life, right? Like everything has a cause and effect, and that's the right ruling, but because of the right ruling being applied, it, like the laws just ripple out from there, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Because in Texas, that meant 88 people on death row had their sentences commuted to life in prison, and Kenneth was one of them.
It'd be interesting to know of those 88, how many were actually guilty.
Yeah.
And how many weren't. Like in this case,
right.
It justice wasn't served maybe, but in all the other, was the majority of those people, were the majority? Was it not? Was it 10%? That would be an interesting thing to look at and discuss.
And it goes back to 100 guilty people should go free versus one innocent person being put to death.
Right.
Which in theory sounds great, but downstream, there's a lot of negative effects to that.
Yeah, that's always the interesting debate, right?
Philosophically,
if you're one of those 100
right.
people, that kind of sucks. You get the short end of that stick. If you're one of the victims or the families of that one person who got set free, that also sucks.
I think you have it backwards, but yeah, it sucks for the victims of the 100 people, guilty people that got set free.
Yes,
the one innocent person that
did I say it
was set
backwards?
free,
Yeah, I apologize. I said that backwards.
And this is what I mean about like the ripple effect of those things, because even like those guys all should have had their life sentences commuted, right? Like that's the point of the law being overturned. But then that decision has effects because under parole law at the time, a life sentence made Kenneth eligible for release as early as 1976. So he applied right away, of course, and was denied, but he kept applying over and over again every time he could.
If your death sentence gets overturned because of a Supreme Court ruling, then and you're commuted to life in prison, maybe you shouldn't be eligible for parole.
Yeah.
That's a loophole
until
in
we
the
figure
system.
things out.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's kind of what I meant. Like when the Supreme Court made this decision, like they could not have seen that there was a loophole that was going to let this dude out and be him.
He's not the only one.
Right, exactly. Like there's other dudes that got out that probably caused some problems.
They probably could have seen that, right? Like they would have known states' laws. You would think they would. But maybe they just said that's not our problem. We're looking at the overall theory of it, the spirit of the law or whatever.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah. And they can't go in and start fucking with state laws because then you have a whole other issue. Their thought is, here's the overall law of the land. Now you states go figure this out.
That's it.
Fix your problems.
But you can't retroactively fix your problems. That's the problem.
You can't say, wait, hold up. We're going to fix this law to keep you in there.
Whatever the guidelines when you were sentenced. So if when you were sentenced, life in prison was eligible for parole, and your death sentence gets overturned and commuted to life in prison, I think you're eligible for parole. There's not much you can do about that.
Yeah. I guess what we're all saying here is that legally, Ken, this should be free. I'm kidding.
I'm eligible to be free. I'm still going back with maybe he should have shot him in the face when he caught up.
Roy or the cop? Are you going to go back to the cop?
Yeah, the Texas Ranger.
Yeah. Should have just shot that guy.
Chuck Norris would have. Walker would have shot him in the face.
No, he just would have roundhouse kicked him, pal.
He just fucking kicked his head off. So, Addie, she's always supported Kenneth this whole time. So in 1977, she hired a lawyer named Gary Jackson, and together they all started writing the parole board. The pitch was that Roy was the real killer. Gary Jackson put together a whole alternate version of the crime, which in his telling, Kenneth had loaned Roy the car and taken a nap in like an abandoned shopping center in Everman while Roy went off and committed these murders on his own.
Gee, Mom, I went to church and gave Roy my car, and then I saw a cat up in a tree, and I rescued him, and I took a nap in the burned out shopping center because I saw a homeless person, and I gave him my jacket, and that's what happened. Is there any indication whether his mom had any inkling whether he was actually guilty or not?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
My favorite part of that was that Kenneth slowly became John Travolta from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Welcome back, Kotter. Up your nose with a rubber hose.
That's exactly where that voice was kind of heading.
The problem with that story is that Roy would have had to have driven both the Dodge and the Ford by himself. So Gary Jackson came up with a theory where Roy had met the teenagers earlier that night, gone out drinking with them, and then they'd all driven to the field together. Some members of the parole board were reportedly impressed with this version of events and like this presentation that this dude came up with. Like this was a whole like press release kind of thing to get Kenneth out.
I see the parole board in that. Have you ever seen that picture of Hillary Clinton on stage where she's like looking up at the sky, like very impressed? I picture the parole board making that face. Oh. Maybe he was driving the Dodge, like he was straddling both cars. He was driving the Dodge with one foot pressing the gas. He was driving the Ford backwards with the other foot somehow pressing on the gas with the reverse pedal. The reverse pedal. With the car in reverse pressing on the gas with his heel. So they were both going in the same direction. He was operating both motor vehicles at the same time.
I'm not sure you've ever driven a car before.
I was picturing it in my head, trying to work the scenario out of what it would look like. First, I was saying maybe it's a British car, so the wheels on the right side, so he's driving them concurrently, like straddling both cars, but that didn't work in Texas. So I turned the car around. He's driving this one in reverse. It's a whole thing.
Man.
If only you were on a jury, pal.
If only. Reasonable doubt, baby. Hashtag reasonable doubt.
In 1981, during a one-on-one meeting with a parole board member, Kenneth offered a $10,000 bribe. He was caught, convicted of bribery, and given a 2-year sentence for that. And of course, he kept applying because there's nothing that stops him from applying for parole, right?
Where'd this money come from? It's not from his commissary account, right? From Addie.
Yeah. But she's terrible, right? Like, she knows goddamn well what her kid did.
I haven't liked her since the first paragraph of these notes.
Yeah, she's never been a good person. By the late 1980s, Texas prisons were overcrowded to the point where a federal court ruled in 1987 that conditions violated inmates' civil rights.
Well, we had to do something with all those violent, dangerous weed users.
Yeah, right.
I was just going to say that's why.
We had to throw their asses in prison where they belong, right? Otherwise, they'd be on the streets doing dangerous drugs, hurting people.
The war on drugs is the only reason why all these prisons are overcrowded. Period. Yeah. That's the end of the story.
There's multiple cause and effects here that you could get to why we're going to have a part 2 in this fucking
downstream
story.
Effects, sure.
Yeah. Governor Bill Clements made a deal with the parole board to start releasing prisoners to bring the numbers down. The target was 750 inmates per week. So that tells you how many people are in there for stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A victim's advocate named Andy Kahan later described the math as 8 out of every 10 parole-eligible inmates were getting released, and it didn't matter at this point if you were a car thief or a triple murderer.
The problem here is parole eligible. All those mandatory minimum drug sentences were not parole eligible. That's why. That's the problem. Right? They couldn't let them out even if they wanted to. Mandatory minimums, fucking absurd. Judges have no discretion. You know, I'm a 22-year-old girl and my boyfriend's dealing heroin and gets caught with a kilo in the closet living with me, and I'm doing 20 years with no discretion from the judge. It's just absurd. All of it.
Drink
up and
it,
down.
Hey, drink a Diet Pepsi. Calm down. Relax. You're getting yourself all hot again.
I'm just saying that's the key here, I think, is parole eligible. And
You're right.
so we're letting pieces of shit out of prison because someone who had, a pound of weed is not parole eligible.
Well, they're doing dangerous drugs, Dave. Come on.
And they start with low-level crimes first, but that's not enough. So then you dip into fucking violent offenders, and eventually you're into murderers. And then you're eventually into people who are on death row. When you're looking at getting 750 people out a week, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, of course.
But it's just a check on a page, right? No one's...
Right, yeah. And of course, Kenneth's name came up. Addie paid about $2,200 to two attorneys in Huntsville to, quote, evaluate Kenneth's chances of release. There were also allegations, they're never fully proven, but were investigated, that Addie paid $25,000 to a former member of the parole board as a bribe here. The board chairman at the time, James Granberry, was later hit with a federal perjury conviction and given 5 years probation. Several other board members were investigated for taking payments from inmates' families in exchange for favorable decisions.
Obscene.
Yeah.
Fucking obscene.
The attorneys that are taking the money from Addie, well, we have like 4 of them now at this point. Like, they're all piece of shit people because they know who they're trying to get out.
In all fairness, have you ever met a not piece of shit attorney? I mean, come on.
And everyone knows each other. It's an old boys network. Everyone's doing this. Mm-hmm. Everyone's shaking hands. Everyone's passing money back and forth. Yep.
And when I said that there was an investigation about with the parole boards taking payments, like, that's other that's not just Addie. Like, there were multiple, bribes that they were taking.
How do we get on a parole board? You guys want to? We're gonna buy a drive-in. You guys want to buy a parole board?
I'd love to. It seems very lucrative. Can we get on that?
We want to buy the Ohio State Prison parole board, please.
Can't be too hard. There's a corruption trial going on in Ohio right now. The executives from First Energy, they paid how much money to the former Speaker of the Ohio House, who's now in federal prison for bribery, to give him money to raise rates across the board on us lowly Ohioans who wouldn't know any better. They're all just criminals, up and down. Yeah. Criminals.
We're just good people of them, trying to make an honest living, and we're getting taken advantage of by the powers to be, Dave.
Criminals should all be in fucking prison.
I bet Pepsi's behind this somewhere too, Dave.
They probably all drink Pepsi. No Coke drinkers would ever do anything like that. Criminals.
Nobody corrupt has ever drank Coca-Cola.
Not my Coca-Cola.
So 2 of the 3 board members who reviewed Kenneth's case decided that he could still, quote, contribute to society because, and their reasoning before this was because he had been taking college courses while in prison.
Oh, yeah. That absolves, sure, absolution.
It doesn't even matter if he got good grades or not. It's just the fact that he was doing that.
I don't care if you fucking cured cancer as a result of your college courses. You shouldn't have been getting out, dickhead.
No, not like what he did was like fucking horror movie brutality. Like picking that kid up after he was already dead and shooting him again. Like,
guaranteed to reoffend.
Yeah.
100%.
Kenneth was one of 20 former death row inmates paroled during this period and one of 127 convicted murderers released.
That's obscene. Come on.
But again, I don't know about the other guys' situations, but from the research, it was just really stressed that it seemed like the money was the big thing here. Addie just pushing and essentially just paid for it. On October 11th, 1989, 23 years after he murdered Robert, Mark, and Edna, Kenneth walked out of prison. He was told to report to a parole officer in Temple where his parents had moved. He got a job at a gas station, making $4 an hour, and enrolled in a class at Texas State Technical College in Waco.
Waco? Never heard of it.
Nothing ever goes on there. I remember making $4 an hour in 1989, so that tracks.
I think my first job was $7.25 an hour. That was minimum wage.
Braggart.
Well, it was, Dave, in all fairness, it was 150 years after your first job.
What year, like, how old were you when you got your first job?
2002. I was 16.
Okay.
Ish. 2002.
So yeah, I made about I would have made the same amount.
It was between 7 and 750. I don't remember what it actually was, so I just said 725. But
I had a paper route when I was 12, maybe even 11. I worked ever since.
No.
Yeah. 16, loser.
Yeah. I wasn't waking up at 4 a.m. to throw papers in people's yards.
I did every day, every day, 7 days a week, baby. 7 days a week.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yep. How about that?
That's something.
Question my work ethic?
No. I hope you enjoyed that 15 cents an hour.
Just to stay consistent, like in the chronology of things, we're going to get into this next week, but within 3 days of Kenneth being released, the body of 29-year-old Sophia Parker was found beaten and strangled in a field in Temple, 48 miles south of Waco, right along the I-35 corridor. We know it was Kenneth, right? It only took him fucking 3 days. 9 months later, Kenneth was in trouble again. This was in Rosebud when he directed racial slurs at a group of black teenagers who were, just minding their own business. He traced one of them down an alley with a knife and threatened to kill him. He was arrested and sent back to prison for a parole violation. At his parole revocation hearing, he went on a racist tirade, just up and down, right, about black people. That should have been the end of the story at this point, right? Like a parole violation for a fucking triple murderer.
Chasing someone down an alley with a knife.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the last chance. I guess that's probably not it though, huh?
But again, just like every other thing in this story, Addie paid for the attorneys, and on December 18th, 1990, Kenneth was released again.
Absurd.
He violated parole again almost immediately, but he was let out a third time. By 1991, he was enrolled at Texas State Technical College, living in a dorm on campus, dealing crack cocaine, and picking up women along the I-35 corridor.
Can you imagine your daughter goes to Texas State Technical College and this motherfucker's living in a dorm there?
Dude, how many people like this are just wandering around and you have no idea who you've ran into like this?
Sure.
Not the fearmonger. That sounds a little fearmongery, but still, you just got to keep your guard.
It's a dangerous world, man.
Yeah.
But he's living in a dorm. How old is he?
It's like fucking 45.
He was born in 46. He's 45 years old living in a dorm.
Yeah, what's going on there? Has he got some years of eligibility left? He's a red-shirted freshman?
What's happening?
I might have to look into that for part 2. That might have been wrong.
No, I like it better this way.
No, I do like it better this way.
It's the Steve Buscemi meme. Hello, children.
Right.
Oh, he's just holding that skateboard over his shoulder.
This is the second plot of Old School.
Hello, freshman. How do you do?
I mean, I get, he's dealing drugs, these kids, but like who at the school was like, approved for campus dorming or campus room and board?
Yeah, 4 years of eligibility, man.
The day Kenneth got out the first time, Falls County Sheriff Larry Paplin, that's Brady's son, the guy that everybody said that should have killed him.
He was now the sheriff.
Right.
Nice.
He was now the sheriff, and the news caught up with him. There's a really good article. I'll put it in the show notes for this. There's a good long form article about this case. But in that, he made a prediction. He said, quote, "I don't know if it'll be next week or next month or next year, but one of these days, dead girls are going to start turning up. And when that happens, the man you need to look for is Kenneth McDuff." The editor of the Rosebud News, John Kilgore, said that McDuff's return scared the shit out of everybody in town. People like that Tommy Salmons dude that beat his ass back in the day, he was worried about himself, his family. This guy's off the rails.
Yeah, rightly
right?
so. Yeah.
At a local festival in Marlin, like a town square kind of thing, whatever. Word started going around that Kenneth was walking around swearing to kill everybody that had wronged him, and that's where we'll pick back up on part 2.
Oof.
Man, if there was ever a perfect split for a part 1 and part 2, this might be it.
Chun chun.
God, that's fucking nuts. This guy's out. The most egregious parole thing I recall is Arthur Shawcross when he killed those kids.
Yeah.
And they let that motherfucker out. This seems to be maybe number 2.
Yeah, Shawcross is weird because there's no corruption or anything. Like
they're like, oh, you're good.
Like you're
Why don't
either
you get out of this prison.
Yeah, like are you
fella?
just super incompetent or what?
Right. Yeah.
This is just corrupt fucking politics.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not going to be any better next week.
Oh, you mean tomorrow's not the redemption story we all thought?
Kenneth's going to turn his life around.
Yeah. And that's why we chose to do it.
Psych.
All right. This was a thorough episode.
Thanks, man. It's interesting. I was looking for a case of somebody getting through the system untouched, right? Like, just sneaking your way through.
Yeah. Certainly sparks good conversation and debate. Anything else that we should touch on in part 1 that we might not get to next week?
No, nothing I can think of.
Okay. Dave, what do you got for us on Patreon?
Well,
you got multiple wells, and you got your natural well. You got your
well, that's me, Antoine Dodson. Well,
and you got your
Reagan.
President Reagan.
Well, isn't it time to blow me, Nancy? You are the blowjob queen of Hollywood.
You need to do a cut on your soundboard, just the three of you saying "well," and you play it before every Patreon read.
I'm going to work on that, pal. Right. That's a good suggestion. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Happy to help.
Thank you to new patrons Maura Booker, Caitlin Batches, Cherry Sun, Thomas Grape. That's Gilbert's brother.
I thought it might be.
That's a good movie. I
love Gilbert Grape. Gwen Core, Hunter Wild, Angel Morales Diaz, Shells Bells, Wilson. They put Castaway in.
We got it.
Wilson.
That's a very tragic scene, right? Actually.
Yeah.
If you ever thought you would never cry for a man losing a ball, watch that fucking movie. He lost his best friend.
Yeah. That's a movie if I'm ever scanning on just flipping channels.
It's on TNT like every third week.
I'll stop and watch.
Yeah.
Even though I can move to another streaming service and watch it without commercials.
Doesn't matter.
It takes too much effort.
It's just
I'll
there.
sit there for 3 hours on TNT and watch the commercials.
Man.
Yep.
That's so good.
Tin D, Tracy, Tom Hill, Linda Abelina, Casey Kolb, Marcus, Ophelia Flores Olson, John Thornbrew, Kumraga, Jim Jones, personal altar boy. I think Ian would like that role if it was available back in the day. Tracy Keeler, Gunderson, B, the goth bartender that serves the Necro Guy's beer.
Hey, I know her.
We know her, huh? Blazed and confused. Don't yell at me, I'll come.
I don't even know what that means.
Mary DeLucia, Eli Sudmeyer, Jasmine Lopez, Chrissy Bear, Ren Bear 76, Harry Beaver. Where'd you come off with your Patreon name? Desiree Baker, Paul Conrad, and Tim Marshall. Thank you and welcome new Patreon members.
Good thorough list. They have 6.5 years of content to go back and listen to.
That's a lot of content, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. Go enjoy. You've earned it. Well, you paid for it. Go listen. Ian, what do you got on your end?
On Patreon, we just did an episode on Polybius, the arcade machine, urban legend, folklore.
That was fun. Mm-hmm. Good video game talk on that whole show.
Yeah. Kind of like get into the story, but then go through the reality of it and like kind of how it came to be kind of thing. Like backtrack or whatever.
I enjoyed that one a lot.
The urban legend of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's on Patreon. Then later this week, we're going to be doing your History Corner show, Mike.
Yep. I'm really excited about this show, celebrating Women's History Month here in March. This is a badass chick. It's a fun story. World War II themed. But that'll be out by the end of the month.
Yep. And then we're also doing Did That Fucking Happen Part 3, maybe? 3?
Something or other. Everyone's favorite game show.
One of my favorite shows.
Did that fucking happen?
I'm a big fan of that.
I have to go back and listen to see how many I tricked you guys on the last show and see if I can beat that record.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
The premise is Dave will read Ian and I some ridiculous story, and Ian and I have to guess if that fucking happened or if it's just Dave pulling the wool over our eyes.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's fun.
My favorite one was that plumber.
Wow.
A story about a plumber who was buried like in a gold toilet upside down doing a handstand in the ground.
Something because he like always wanted to make people laugh or something. It's so funny.
That was a fake one, right?
Yeah. But then I think that was like the first time I found out that you were the one writing the fake ones, and it made it even funnier.
All right. More of that to come on patreon.com/necronomipod. Anything else? We good? Dave, anything else on your end?
No, man. I'm good. I'm pretty intoxicated.
Yeah?
I'm feeling good.
All right.
We should do an OT after this show.
Maybe we will.
Maybe so.
We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Necronomipod, patreon.com/Necronomipod, amazon.com, search Necronomipod for our merch, and the new, improved, revamped Necronomipod.com. Make sure you sign up, subscribe with your email address for updates on the website, and you are entered into the drawing. A personalized video message. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Indeed.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe Declan will hang his ball sack in the camera for your personalized message. Who knows?
We'll see. We don't know.
You might.
All right, you guys ready for a cool down beer?
Cheers.